Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Maya and Caden threw glances at Damon and Talia through the rearview mirror and observed how Damon held Talia gently in his arms.
Since when did our alpha show kindness to victims of abuse?
Maya asked Caden through their mind link. You meant to ask, since when did our alpha show kindness? Period. Caden corrected her and asked, Did you know about this?
Nope,
Maya responded.
Damon always picked up women quickly, but bringing one home marked this the first for him.
Maya pointed at the rearview mirror, indicating for Caden to look. Caden's eyes shifted just in time to see Damon adjusting his position so that Talia could sleep more comfortably while leaning on him. It seemed that Damon's taste in women changed, Caden said. I can hear you, Damon grumbled, and both Caden and Maya shrunk. If you want to discuss me, ensure the mind link stays between the two of you. Damon couldn't confirm if Maya and Caden stopped their gossip or if they just tuned him out. He knew that they meant no harm. Their comments lacked tact, but only because this involved his mate. If it concerned any other woman, he wouldn't have cared. He understood their questions about this unknown girl who suddenly appeared, but Damon felt unprepared to talk about her. In fact, even Damon knew little about her. However, he recognized her as his mate, found her scent appealing, and felt a connection when they touched. She had suffered mistreatment, and Damon needed to keep her close and safe. And that sufficed for him for now. Damon felt pleased that Talia agreed to come with him to his pack, and he didn't need to resort to forceful measures. In the Dark Howler's pack, no one would dare mistreat her, and he would ensure that she received whatever she needed and wanted. Damon couldn't forget the fear in her eyes and how pitiful she looked in that attic. Damon decided to take her with him spontaneously, and he had no plans for tomorrow or the distant future. But he knew that he would make sure Talia's life going forward became a happy one. He observed Talia and frowned at her injuries. Find us a hotel nearby, something further from the main road, Damon said through the mind link to Caden and Maya. Do you feel so eager to be with her that you can't wait? Caden asked with disapproval. They still had a long way ahead of them, and the girl looked hurt and tired. Damon grit his teeth in frustration. Why did Caden assume the worst? Okay, Damon's reputation with women didn't shine, but Talia obviously needed care and rest. He had self-control. She needs first aid, and we can have breakfast, Damon responded while suppressing his rage. He didn't want to snap and wake up Talia. Maya and Caden agreed with this. Food sounded like a good idea. They had left in a hurry on empty stomachs. Per Damon's instructions, Maya booked 2 rooms. She assumed that girls would stay in one room and boys in the other room. So she asked for 2 rooms with 2 beds each. Buy medical supplies for tending to cuts and bruises. Order breakfast in your room for me also. Let me know when it's ready. Damon sent them a message through MindLink. Maya and Caden gaped at the sight of Damon, who carried Talia carefully inside her room, and he closed the door behind him. Damon placed Talia on the bed gently, glad that she didn't wake up. She frowned a bit when her back touched the mattress, and he wondered if she had an injury there also. He sat at the edge of the bed and looked at her sleepy face full of bruises and cuts. Her upper lip and left cheek looked swollen, yet she still appeared beautiful. He took her hand in his and smiled when he felt a connection. After some time, Damon asked his wolf, Now what? What do you want to do? His wolf responded with a question. I want to hold her and I shouldn't. His wolf snorted in disapproval. Why do you resist? You know what will happen if others find out she is my mate. Everyone will target her. She seems vulnerable, and she already suffered too much. Damon's wolf didn't agree that Talia seemed weak. Anyone who could endure so many injuries and not dissolve into sobs must have strength. His wolf felt Damon's conflict, and he decided to help Damon understand his current situation. In that case, there's only one thing to do. Which one? Damon asked. Reject her. his wolf said, and they shared a piercing ache in the chest area as the invisible bond between Damon and Talia protested the idea. His wolf spoke again.
You can't do it because you know it won't do any good. That's why you couldn't leave her behind.
Damon released a slow breath. What should I do? I can't let her go, and I can't be with her either. His wolf already felt pleased that Damon didn't reject Talia in the spur of the moment. He knew better than anyone how much Damon craved control. That represented Damon's way of dealing with the harsh reality. But this situation required Damon to win by letting go and allowing the bond to guide him.
I can feel your anxiousness, boy. It will turn out fine. Don't rush this. For now, keep her close and keep her safe. In time, you will know what to do.
Food is here. Caden's voice through the mind link jerked Damon out of his thoughts. Damon checked the time and realized that he lost about half an hour. That never happened before. He had stared at sleeping Talia and lost track of time. He concluded that this bond affected his mind significantly. Damon? Caden called after a minute. Damon knew that he should leave, but he found it difficult to separate from Talia. What if something happened? What if she disappeared again? He got an idea. Caden, answer the call and keep it on. Damon instructed and took his phone to call Caden for a video chat. Damon placed his phone on the TV stand so that the camera pointed at Talia, and with this video call, he could keep an eye on her from another room. Give me your phone, Damon demanded from Caden as soon as he entered Caden's and Maya's room. He nodded in approval when he saw Talia sleeping on the screen of Caden's phone. Damon muted the call so that they wouldn't wake Talia accidentally.
That's called a baby monitor,
Maya said to Damon. What?
When you have a camera pointing at the baby while she sleeps so that you can see her from other parts of the house. A baby monitor,
Maya explained. Or surveillance, Caden added. Will you tell us what's the deal with this girl? Damon sat on the chair and took one plate that had eggs, bacon, and sausages. Let me eat first. I'm starving. He shoved food into his mouth while stealing glances at Caden's phone, a.k.a. the baby monitor. Knowing that Talia slept there gave him peace. Damon narrowed his eyes and focused on the phone in order to confirm that Talia's chest rose and fell as she breathed. Other than breathing, she didn't move a muscle, and he needed to confirm that she lived.
We got the first aid supplies,
Maya said and pointed at the bag that sat next to Damon, who didn't respond. Damon? Caden called. The first aid supplies are there. Caden repeated what Maya said previously and then gestured to the empty plate in Damon's hand. You said that you would tell us about the girl after food. Damon didn't realize at what point he finished food. He spaced out again while staring at Talia. Whatever symptoms he had, they got worse.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Damon thought about how to explain Talia's presence to Caden and Maya. I'm responsible for her, Damon said, which got him raised eyebrows from Maya and Caden, who obviously wanted more information. Marcy stayed in my room and this girl interrupted. Because of that, she ended up in her current state. Maya connected the dots.
Is she the Omega you mentioned, who got a beating from Marcy?
Damon nodded. Why do you make it sound like you bear responsibility? Caden asked. If Marcy has a temper, it seemed only a matter of time before she snapped, regardless of your involvement. Damon raised his hand, indicating to Caden to be patient. That marked the first time. Then, I went to Alpha Edward and told him that some Omegas received physical punishments, and that he should talk to Marcy about it. After that, this girl got another beating. Maya and Caden exchanged looks, feeling that something was missing from the story. Sure, Talia got hit because of Damon twice, and even though he got involved, he didn't do it on purpose. These represented internal dealings of the pack. As an alpha, Damon should know that any alpha wouldn't tolerate others meddling in how rewards and punishments went to his people. Taking her away sneakily equaled stealing. Alphas considered their pack members like their belongings, because a pack built strength with numbers. By taking away Talia, Damon indirectly weakened the Red Moon pack. Sure, she didn't fight as a warrior, but every member counted. You know that Alpha Edward might turn hostile if he finds out that she stays with us, right? Kaidan asked. Damon rubbed his face with force. He knew that, but... You didn't see where she lived. I found her in the attic, bruised and bleeding among broken furniture and rags. No one cared about her. And you do? Kaidan snapped. You understand that our relationship with the Red Moon Pack remains tense, and that Alpha Edward works in the shadows while trying to topple you, and you just gave him a reason to go openly against us. Does she deserve jeopardizing the Dark Howler's pack? Do you realize that this might cause a war? Damon growled, and his face contorted in anger. What do you expect me to do? To leave her there to rot while waiting for another beating? That's not what Kaidan said, Maya interrupted with urgency while her eyes darted from Kaidan to Damon. She couldn't go against her alpha, but she didn't want her mate to end up fighting with Damon either. Seeing that she got both Kaidan's and Damon's attention, Maya resumed talking calmly. We need to do this right. So far, alphas who complained about us accepting their pack members got silenced by elders after we provided them with testimonies of how they came to us willingly. We can't tell them that we smuggled her in a trunk. Only the three of us know how she ended up with us, and we can't keep this under wraps because our pack members will see the newcomer. We need to come up with a cover story that will make sense, because when Alpha Edward notices her missing, we will become the first suspects, and he might send people to look for her. Damon frowned at the thought of anyone from the Red Moon Pack coming and searching for Talia. What if they took her away? He got an idea. She didn't have the mind link. The Red Moon Pack brought her as a child, and she never went through the acceptance ceremony, so technically, she lives as a rogue. We can say that she grew up with her grandparents, and when they died, she came to this area and we found her on our way home accidentally. Who will believe that? Kaidan asked. Make it believable, Damon snapped. All right, Maya said while waving her hands for Damon to calm down. She represents a rogue we picked up on the way. We will fill that with a few details to make it believable. How do we explain why she came to us and not some other pack? Something seems off with her, Wolf, Damon said. Not many packs will accept members who don't show top form. Maya thought that this gave them something to work with, but... Will she cooperate and confirm the story? If she doesn't, it will bring trouble for us, and she will go back to the Red Moon Pack, Kaidan said and looked at Damon with disapproval. I wish you spoke to me before stuffing her in the trunk. Considering that she just lives as an Omega and that Alpha Edward doesn't find value in them, we could have made a deal to take her with us without risking complications. I didn't stuff her anywhere. She got in on her own, Damon said irritably. Why did they make it sound like he kidnapped her? Damon stayed with Talia in the attic, and he didn't want to stay there a minute longer than necessary. So he came up with the idea to leave right away while smuggling Talia with them. He didn't have time for strategy meetings, but it worked. They got out, and they only needed to come up with a cover story and things would turn out fine. Why did Kaidan raise a fuss? A sound came from Kaidan's phone, and Damon's eyes widened in panic when he saw an empty bed. Talia disappeared. Damon dashed out and ran frantically to his room. He let out the breath he held when he saw Talia sprawled on the floor, sleeping. She fell off the bed. Damon shook his head helplessly because she looked adorable while hugging a pillow, and he panicked like an idiot for no reason. Why did he think that she disappeared? He walked to Talia slowly and carefully pried the pillow from her hold before lifting her up. Talia stirred a bit while adjusting in Damon's arms to a more comfortable position, and he stood still like a statue as pleasant sensations shot through his body. Damon laid with Talia on the bed with the plan to leave Talia sleeping so that he could return to Caden's and Maya's room. After all, with Talia's arrival at the Dark Howler's pack, they needed to make necessary preparations so that she had a place to stay. However, Talia's head rested on Damon's shoulder, and her warm breath fanned his neck as wonderful sensations overtook his senses, making him tense and relaxed at the same time, and he couldn't let go. Talia felt exhausted, and Damon didn't sleep for 2 nights in a row either. Damon stared at Talia, engraving every curve of her face into his memory, and he didn't realize that his eyes closed gradually. In Caden's and Maya's room, the couple stared at Caden's phone. Did Damon develop a split personality, or did we bring an imposter from the Red Moon pack? Maya asked. Caden chuckled. Maybe they really drugged him with something that makes a man lovey-dovey, and Marcy now pulls her hair out because he left before drugs took full effect. You don't worry about this? Caden shrugged. It seems that he cares about the girl. Why should I worry? That should represent a good thing. Yeah, it should, Maya said thoughtfully. But this is Damon. Remember our alpha Damon? The one who uses the word girlfriend as a cuss word? The one who doesn't get close to a woman if she has clothes on? Are you telling me that suddenly his tender side shows? I'm not buying it. This seems too sudden, and that girl is not his type. Something doesn't seem right. Caden had a thoughtful expression. It's not sudden. This change happened shortly after we arrived at the Red Moon pack. I realized Damon's behavior seemed strange when he asked me how I felt when we met. Maya blinked rapidly. Damon showed interest in knowing more about mates? She looked at the phone where Damon slept while cradling Talia in his arms, and Maya's eyebrows went up in slow motion. Call me crazy, but I think that girl might be his mate. You're crazy, Caden said right away. Damon hates everything about mates. If she represented his mate, he would reject her and run for the hills and not cuddle. Maya smirked knowingly and pointed at the phone. And how would you explain that?
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Pocket FM. To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.